dude,
I
like,
guess,
I just don't see any advantages to dealing with a single mom because
yeah,
it
I can
it just
see that now.
brings extra disadvantages to the table that don't exist with a woman that doesn't
Yeah.
have kids.
I guess so, let's start with the single mom and like a single dad
Sure.
perspective and like why that's a different
Okay.
why people should approach that differently in relationships.
Sure. How many kids do you have?
2.
Okay. And they're in elementary school, or are they high
Yep.
schoolers, or
Elementary and middle.
okay? And they came from a marriage, or
Yep.
same father?
Nope.
So 2 different fathers.
Yep.
Okay. So I guess the question you're asking is, why is that a red flag, if I understood it correctly?
Yeah, why is that a red flag? And then why is it okay for you? Like, I mean, do you look at yourself the same way that you look at it as a single mother if you're a single father?
No. Do you see men and women as the same? Do you see men and women as equal?
In some ways, I
Let's
mean,
start with that. So in what ways do you see men and women as different?
I mean, I think that they should bring the same things to the table. You know, I want somebody who is confident, successful, great at communicating. Like everything should be reciprocated in a relationship when it comes to your emotional
No, I guess
capacity.
the question is do you see differences between men and women? Because I mean, you're kind of
Yes,
describing
like,
the kind of guy that you want to date.
yeah, but I mean, biologically, yes.
Okay. So biologically, I guess we can start with that, because you know that women birth the children, which men don't do.
Mm-hmm.
So that does a number on a person's body, doesn't it?
Sure.
So there's one difference between men and women. So to kind of dive down the rabbit hole of like the single mom, we'll get into friendships with friends and men and female friends and the tattoos a little bit as well too. But there are differences between men and women. And when it's convenient, what I'll often hear is, well, if you say that men should probably stay away from single moms, but you're a single dad with a kid, how is that any different? Right? Like, why do you get a pass on that? And the truth of the matter is that I don't think guys really do get a pass on that.
Long story short, I was with a girl for 2.5 years. So I know all your stuff offhand, and I just wanted to kind of hear your take on all this.
Sure, what do you got?
The first year we were together, I didn't meet her kid, but you kind of mentioned he had ADHD.
The kid had ADHD?
Yeah, and it's
Okay.
undiagnosed, and I think there's a spectrum on there as well.
Okay.
Very bad behavior. So anyways, it's constant chaos all the time. So I moved them in with me, which was a bad mistake. My kids are a little bit older. They're 13 and 15.
Okay.
And this boy's 8. And it's just constant chaos from the time I wake up till we go to bed.
Yeah.
Stomping, everything in the house is wrecked. My kids decided they're not coming back. So then my ex is going to say that she's going to take me for child support now. And I had a good relationship with my kids before they came in.
So your kids didn't want to be in your house because of this ADHD brat?
Yeah. So he's always screaming, "I hate you," and he's disrespectful to me and the mother.
Yeah.
And the father's he lives 3 hours away. He doesn't really father him or anything, and I couldn't really father him because he's not my kid, and I think he has more spectrum issues than I can do to discipline him.
Yeah.
So anyways, she kind of thought she was a hot shit and everything, and she was always having guys in the back burner. And she went through my phone and was deleting friends of mine out of my phone and accusing me of cheating constantly. So then one night I went to her phone and I found she's messaging all her old boyfriends still, and they're all still there on her TikTok and everything. So it's a one-way street there. So
you know, they say that when somebody points a finger at you, there's always 3 fingers pointing back at them, right?
Yeah, totally.
Anyway, carry on.
So I finally got them out of the house, and I've been single for 2 weeks now, and finally got my kids back now. We got peace in the house, and now I understand what you say. You want to come home to a peaceful home.
Yeah.
And now I understand that. Like this morning, I woke up, like I miss her a lot, but it's just peace and quiet now, and it's like money can't put a price on it. You got your kids back, and everything's restored. So.
Did you read my first book?
I don't know. I did, yeah.
Yeah, so you went through the chapter on single moms, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess my next question would be like, what should I look for? Because I kind of have older kids that are like independent and driving now, but
Mhm. How old are you?
I don't want the. I'll be 43 this week.
And your kids are how old again?
13 and 15.
Dude,
I
like,
guess.
I just don't see any advantages to dealing with a single mom, because
Yeah, I can
it just
see that now.
brings extra disadvantages to the table that don't exist with a woman that doesn't have kids. Even as a guy with kids, like, I would, I hate to say it, but like, there's very rare circumstances where it would be ideal to date a single mom, and most of them just don't exist. I mean, at the end of that chapter in my first book, I talked about that. Like, okay, if you're a dad and you got like a 6-year-old girl and she's a mom, she's got a 6-year-old girl and they get along really good, and she's not a fucking bum and isn't covered in tattoos and doesn't have all the red flags, then maybe you might want to contemplate it. But I think for the vast majority of guys,
even my son told me, he's 13. He's pretty on the ball, and he says, "Dad, I don't care if you date someone with a kid, just as long as they get along with me and they're normal."
Yeah.
So,
but I mean, there's a lot of women that children are baggage. I hate to say it, but children are baggage, and there's a lot of broads out there that just have badly behaved kids. Single moms are notorious. Well, they're notorious for producing criminals. I think something like 88% of the incarcerated come from single mother households. Teenage pregnancies come from single mother households. Gang activity, single mother households. Suicide attempts, single mother households. Shitty grades, single mother households. There's a very strong correlation between single mothers and not great kids. And on a balance of probabilities, if you start dating a chick that's got kids and she's a single mom, there's no dad around, or he's a bum, or they're different kids from different fathers, there's a very strong probability that you're going to be dealing with some shit that you don't need to deal with. I'm just saying.
That's what she never revealed to me in the beginning. Why her other
nobody's going to tell you I got a batshit crazy kid that's going to disrespect you. Of course not, dude. She's going to like give you everything that you want. Like, single moms don't usually look for love; they're looking for help.
Oh, that's what I.
And then they keep the guys in the background as you experience on speed dial, just in case, or just, if she wants something different.
Yeah.
Fuck that noise.
Captain Save-A-Ho, I guess. That's
Do
why
not
I try to bring
Captain
her to help
Save-A-Ho,
her.
Gentlemen.
Yep. So at the end there, when I had to get them out, that's when their true colors come out. And she says, "Well, I lived here for almost enough to be common law. I'm going to take half your CD, your camper, your house, and everything." I was like, holy. So yeah, I think I made.
Did you have to give up some of that stuff?
I gave up all my furniture. My house is pretty empty right now.
Did you have to give her anything else aside from the furniture?
That's about it.
Oh man!
As you can hear, this is all empty in here.
Yeah, there's a bit of an echo around you, isn't there?
So,
well,
yeah. So turning the one.
Hopefully she doesn't come back for more. More money, more support. You guys lived together for 2 years?
About a year and a little bit.
Yeah, so you're under the common law. Hopefully,
common law here's 2 years here.
Yeah, but there's there's a case here in Canada that made case law from Ontario. I can't remember the guy's first name. I think it's Mark Latner or something like that. Anyway, his family's very rich. They're billionaires. And he was dating this gal for several years named Lisa, who also had kids from a prior marriage. They would not cohabitate. They didn't live together. They didn't get married. They didn't live under the same roof, but they spent so much time together. They would come over to his house and have dinner. They would travel a lot. He would take her to Muskoka. He would take her to Cabo. He would take her to Miami in the wintertime, sort of thing, fly her around. And even though they didn't live together or get married, the courts awarded her $50,000 a month in alimony. So it's that dangerous in Canada that it's my recommendation to men to never live with a woman, because there's case law now that women have enforced alimony support payments to them, even though they never got married or lived together, because she was able to convince the courts that even though they didn't have a ceremony or live under the same roof, they were still technically married, because she got him to do stupid shit. You travel, let's go down to the beach, and we'll draw a heart on the beach, and we'll put Lisa plus Mark, and they'll take a picture, and she'll ask for a promise ring, and he'll buy her a promise ring because he wants to make her happy and do the nice shit. She takes a picture of the promise ring. It's on Facebook, and she starts building up a case for all this shit. Like, I read the entire case law, dude. this is how they build up the case for we were married, even though they never got married. And then the courts say, well, you know, fuck you, Latner. You're going to have to pay her $50,000 a month because you basically behaved like a married couple. So you have to be very, very careful with that stuff, especially in Canada, because the courts hate men.
Well, even the response I got from her the first time she met one of my friends, her sister's a lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
So he just asked, are you guys common law? And the reaction, instead of being like, yeah, we could be, or something nice, she was like, well, I can make it. I need to make a few phone calls and we can make it that. And I was like, that's not a very nice response. Like,
red flag.
I don't know, just something in the background wasn't feeling right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Pay attention to these red flags. They're usually little whispers. You kind of hear them, but if you don't acknowledge them and you don't listen to them, they will become shouts. And by the time they become shouts, it's usually too late for most men. So don't let it get to that point.
Yeah. But could you imagine if I would have had to pay my ex to lose my kids, to raise someone else's kids, and then if it didn't work, I might be on the hook for their kids as well?
It's not uncommon, dude. I've talked to lots of guys that were on the hook for child support for children that weren't even theirs because, you know, he married her or he lived common law with her for 3 years. And then she turns around and fucks the guy over that was nice enough to her and then extorts money out of him for child support. Because the courts say, well, child needs to be looked after and you looked after him for 2 years. So you're going to have to keep doing that now. It's insane. It's like, it's just don't live with a fucking chick, especially if she's got kids. You can love a woman and not live with her. Believe it or not, it actually works.
That's why I think she was more mad when we broke up about her being rejected than loving me, I guess.
Yeah, it's
She
not.
has to find her own way on through the world.
Like I said, big guy, it's not about love, it's about help. And you provided that to her. She didn't discipline the kid. You didn't have any authority over the kid. He behaved like a brat. He even pushed your own children out of your house and cost you child support to your ex because of that brat.
Yeah, I was even out. I felt like I was in the garage drinking because I didn't want to come in my own house. So it was getting bad.
Fuck that noise.
But anyway,
don't do it again.
Yeah.
You learn your lesson.
Vet these women before you meet their kids.
And those of you that are watching, pay attention and listen to these stories. This is why I do the call-in segment, so you guys can hear this crazy stuff so you don't make the same mistakes. It's cheaper and safer and faster to learn from the mistakes of others that have made them than to go out there and do the dumb stuff yourself. Trust me. Listen to this guy.
Yeah. Going through your stuff, now that I'm experienced, now I'm not like self-destructing. I'm going to be getting better that they're gone. Before, when I was going through breakups, I was a wreck, but now I know how to handle it now, and I'm gonna get going here. So,
did you go through my second book yet?
No, I was gonna order it, but it didn't come out to the first, I think.
It's available now. You can get it on Kindle, hardback, and print now. So just grab it off Amazon. Enjoy it, dude, because it's far better than the first book. You know, like I said earlier. But yeah, do you have any other questions?
Just at the moment, I'm still hurting inside. You're still grieving over the person who you thought they were. It's normal feeling, but I just can't shake it now. And do you still need to keep 100% no contact, or
don't
focus on your own stuff, I guess?
Yeah, you know, single mom with a terrible kid that was keeping in touch with her exes constantly and accusing you of cheating on her. It's like, what other red flags do you need waved in front of your face to tell you that this is just a bad idea? So that's not normal, right? Like, women get about 80% of the custody orders, which means that they're with the kids most of the time. Like, the average deal that guys get in most scenarios is they'll see their kids every other weekend and like a Wednesday night for dinner. And then the moms have the kids most of the time. So in Jordan's case, she's got them 50-50, right? Which is a little bit different. So in most guys' scenarios, like as soon as they're dealing with a single mom, the vast majority of the time, they've got the kids most of the time. Now, if I'm a father and I've got kids, chances are, on a balance of probabilities, that I'm going to spend more time raising your kids than I am going to be around my kids. So that's another detriment as well, too. That's a benefit that women experience when they're with fathers that have children. I'm not saying that you have to choose a father with children. You can also make a decision not to deal with a guy that's got kids. That's entirely plausible, right?
I think what doesn't make sense to me is you're not understanding that it's a big thing for either a man or a woman to take that on.
No,
I don't understand
it's different
why,
because women don't take responsibility of a man's kids, right?
How?
They just don't.
How can you say that?
Well, we can use, nursery rhymes would be a great example. There's stories like Cinderella, for example, where there's always the evil stepmom. There's no nursery rhyme. There's no story. There's no elementary story in Disney where there's the evil stepfather. It's always the evil stepmom because it's based on reality. Women don't typically have much interest in a man's child. They just don't. Whereas men are more than willing to swoop in and raise another man's child.
I believe that.
I'm just saying, I know about Cinderella. I know about a lot of fairy tales.
Is there one fairy tale, one Disney story where there's the evil stepfather?
It's not a fairy tale, it's real life.
I'm talking about reality of 2023.
I know, but these are all based on real life.
Yeah,
that's why they
what
tell
I'm
these stories.
talking about is real life too. And so, like, for example, I have this like longtime childhood friend, and I actually have had multiple friends in this position where they actually have very successful careers. They're doing really well. They're single. They start dating a guy with 3 kids. Mm-hmm. They move in with these guys. They take on the responsibility of basically being a stepmom. They're taking these kids to practices. They're going to conferences. I mean, they're doing all of the things. And from what I can see, I mean, in a lot of these cases, and I do fault the women too, because I feel like they're not holding these guys to the right standards. However, like, they don't have a ring on their finger. No.
Okay.
No. So I feel like
they have the choice not to deal with a guy with kids, though. Why are they choosing to deal with a guy with kids?
Yeah, and men have the choice to deal with a single mom or not. But what you're saying is it's different for men to take that on than it is for women. And what I'm saying is, I mean, it might be different, but it's still drama it's still drama on either side.
Okay, so let's use my story versus Jordan's story. She's got 2 kids from 2 different fathers. I have 1 kid from 1. I was married to her. That's it. And there's no drama. She's potentially going to invite more drama into a man's life by getting involved with her because she's got a couple of kids from a couple of different guys. She's also got 2 kids instead of 1 kid. You see what I'm saying here?
I feel like we're comparing finances, and like having to support these children and whatever. But the thing is, it's the same perspective from a women's perspective. When women
don't usually support the children.
When a woman comes into a man's life with children, she assumes the mother's role. She moves into the house. She's cooking the dinner. She's doing the groceries. She's taking the days off when the kids are off sick from school. She's doing the back to school shopping. She's dealing with the agendas. She's making the lunches. She's doing the laundry. She's also working and contributing 50% to the bills. So it does work both ways in the perspective of, if you want to say avoid single moms, it is a completely valid the same way to say avoid single dads, because you're going to come in and not only are you mothering a child that's not yours, you also have to mother a father.
1,000%.
Okay, look.
It works both ways, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, like, you can use the angle that it works both ways, and what's good for the goose is good for the gander. But there's a number of significant differences, and I don't expect the gals to see it from the men's perspective, because you're never going to see it from the man's perspective, because women's solipsistic nature, you just don't see it. The fact that you have to push
just like how you didn't see it from my perspective.
No, I completely see it from your perspective. But listen to this: a woman pushes a football out of her body. That changes her body. A man does not do that. That is one significant difference between men and women. You do it with 2 kids, 3 kids,
there's not
4
a difference
kids.
between men and women.
No, but you're saying that if you're advising men to stay away from single moms, you should basically be saying the same thing for fathers, because it applies the other way. It's different. And that's just one area out of many that I've just explained to you. I mean, you see the difference, right?
No, I see that there's a difference between men and women. I agree that when a woman
Jordan,
gives
did
birth,
your body change when you had children?
No, I think I look great. I mean, I'm
not asking if you look great. Myself. I'm asking you, did your body change
temporarily?
Yeah.
Temporarily.
Yeah. Do you look as good now as you did when you were 23?
I think I look better, to be honest with you.
Okay. How would you rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10?
Like my physical appearance?
Overall.
Or I don't know, I've never done that.
Rate your physical appearance, because you've thought about that.
I've not thought about that or rated myself on a scale, so I'm gonna pass on that one. But I will say, no, I've never.
I mean, if you guys are in a chat group where you're roasting dudes back and forth, and you're you're roasting them because you think that they're lower value than you. So you must have some idea of what your value
them
is.
based on their behavior and the things that they say and the ways that they act.
Okay, so
it's not about their appearance.
Let's put a quick pause real quick.
Okay, so let's go
quick pause. Let's get to Jessica.
Go ahead,
Jessica, to go ahead and pipe up because you came off mute. I think you had something.
First time I was coming off mute was I also have a kid as well. Granted, I still look very similar to when I had my kid. I still feel the changes. I remember the changes that came with mine. And then I do see differences between men and women, mostly just because it comes out of the mother in all custody cases. That's kind of what happened. And a lot of that, how those fall, since the majority is that the mom ends up taking the kid most of the time than anything else, that's also creating the very lopsided of, the time with the dads and then flip-flopping kind of how much responsibility goes one way or the other.
We lost you for a second or two there when you were
real quick, Jessica. What I'll say is I would turn your camera off. I think that'll help your speed your connection up a little bit.
Yeah, I think it's a connection issue.
Yeah, it's just an internet speed thing.
So
bandwidth.
So for the other ladies, and thanks for chiming in, Jessica. So you think that men and women, when it comes to being a parent, should be treated identically?
No one said that.
I think it's worth a conversation, of course, but just to have this like blanketed advice of like, stay away from singles mom because it introduces drama. I think that can happen on both sides. I mean, I don't feel like
a woman without kids doesn't bring the same level of drama to a man's life.
And so does a man without kids, is what we're saying.
Let's look at this though. I mean, the majority of single parents out there, the majority of single parents are mothers, right? So you have probably double, if not more, single mothers out there than you have single fathers. And so women are ultimately the sexual selectors. The pool that most men have to choose from as far as women goes, what they're seeing right now is a lot of single mothers in the dating pool. Just because when you look at the way the court system rules in child custody's favor, and Jordan, yours is a little bit different than most, it's very rare to get 50-50 joint custody of children in any state. There are some states
80% of the time, I think it's 83% of the time, women are the primary custodial caregivers to the children. So that means that you've got the kids more than I've got the kids, which means that men are putting themselves in a position where they could potentially spend more time raising another man's children versus his own.
So even looking at that, the time that men generally spend raising kids, even if they are a single father, on a long enough timeline and the balance of probabilities, he's still going to have more free time and more time for relationships and dating than your general run-of-the-mill single mother will, just purely based on statistics.
I mean, there's anomalies to that. There always will be.
Of course.
So I just don't agree with like the blanketed advice there. I mean, I know my situation is not conventional.
If something is right 80% of the time, is that a pretty good barometer on how you should act? Like if I was gonna hand you a parachute that only opened 2 out of 10 times, are you still gonna jump out of the plane with it on?
Well, no, but
I wouldn't.
think that you can apply that logic to every situation.
Why? Why not? Why are some situations okay to live by the anomaly and other situations we should live by the majority?
I'm not saying live by it. I'm saying I don't think that you should make that like blanketed advice or just say like, write off all single moms because it's going to introduce X, Y, and Z to your life when it's certainly not the case every single time.
But there's nothing in this life that's the case every single time. That's the point. You treat every gun like it's loaded.
Why have such a firm stance on something?
If you have options, Jordan, then you don't select a single mom. Even single fathers don't select single moms if they have options.
I didn't hear the first part of what you said. Sorry.
If you have options, you don't typically select a single mom. If you're a guy that's got his head squared away, you're going to find a woman that doesn't have children.
So, Rich, if I'm someone who is self-reliant, successful, 35, I don't have kids, would you give me the same advice and say that I should probably avoid single fathers?
I would. Well, let me hit it from this angle. If I'm talking to you as my daughter, I would tell you the same thing. Stay away from a guy that's got children in tow from a prior relationship.
Why is
Form
that?
your own family.
Right. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
right. That's all I'm saying.
But the reasons, though, are different, is what we're trying to get at.
And that's
I'm mostly
fine.
talking to guys when they're reading my book, when they're watching my podcast and stuff like that. And it's to their advantage to find a woman that doesn't have another man's seed in their house.
And it's to my advantage to get with a man on my own family with, who doesn't have that baggage as well.
If you can get it, but I suspect that your option for getting that is much lower than the available inventory of successful older guys out there with children.
So you don't think I can get a guy that doesn't have kids?
You probably could. But all I'm saying is a guy like me that has their shit together has options. All right, guys, I really hope that you enjoyed that clip. If you want to check out the full-length podcast episode, you can find that right over here. Also, make sure you visit my website over here where you'll find my supplements, the opportunity to book me privately one-on-one for coaching, and most importantly, my new School of Unplugging, which you'll find on the courses tab. Newer to the channel, hit subscribe.